Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters of the Ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inshallah, you're all well. Blimey, it's hot. Before I begin, I just wish to clarify a point that men do, in fact, wear the hijab. The hijab simply means covering. A man's hijab is his lowering of the gaze, modest attire, loose fitting from his navel to his knee, all that must be concealed. And of course, behavior-wise, which is also very important, he needs to act with restraint, modesty around a woman, no touching, no lewd, flirtatious behavior, being alone, being segregated, of course, when possible, etc., with women he can marry. Now, in this video, what I mean by the term hijab is the head covering. Why don't men have to wear this? Why is it that only women wear it? And isn't that unfair? The video will look at one particular reason, one particular wisdom behind it. There are other reasons, of course, but I will focus on just the one today, inshallah. I'm focusing on this one because I feel it's an area that is almost obvious to the average sensible person, but in our politically correct 21st century post-feminist world, it has become a sort of a taboo subject. In a world where the push for equal rights for women and the blurring of the gender distinctions is, we are almost taught by society to believe that it is not the case and feel outdated if we do not assert this basic common sense. The video will be in two parts, so please make sure you watch both, and of course please subscribe, share and like the video, press the bell button to be notified, so we can make more videos like this, inshallah. And I will be taking it very slowly, and that is the reason why I've divided it into two parts, so I can take it very slowly so you understand what's going on. And because I am making a subtle point, even though it's a common sense point, it has become, modern society has blurred it so much that it's become a sort of a controversial, confusing point. So it needs to be dealt with very slowly and carefully, and there will be lots of subtle issues tackled, and I need you to really grasp the minutiae of the point I'm making and the wisdom behind it. Because for, I would say, 60% of the people, it will make absolute sense, you know. It will make absolute sense, just common sense fact, really. But for 40%, I think people will have an almost knee-jerk, instinctive reaction against it because they may be living in the West, they may have had a Western liberal education, they've grown up in the West, in a developed country, and of course the thinking is shaped by your environment. So there will be a divergence of views to what I'm going to say, but and some people will take it obviously controversially, some people won't, but I just need you to hang in there and hear me out, if you will. Hear me out. Anyway, I'm already almost 5 minutes in and I'm just blabbering on with my disclaimers. But anyway, let's begin, inshallah. Just going to take a quick swig. As I said, it's very hot today. It's boiling out there, and I should ideally be outside. But anyway, so let's begin. If a woman sees a handsome man and she feels attracted to him. As I said, I'm going to take this really slowly, so please don't mind my slow pace. I just need you to grasp it, and that's all. Anyway, okay. And she is attracted to him no matter what the circumstance, no matter what the scenario, be it on a beachfront, a jungle, a mountaintop, a boardroom, a back alley, a poorly lit parking lot, or the middle of the desert, a Tesco aisle, early in the morning or deep in the night. No matter what country, it could be the United States of America, it could be Chile, it could be Finland, Tanzania, Yemen, France, Nepal, Papua New Guinea. No matter what continent, the Americas, Oceania, Asia, Antarctica even. And I hope you're sticking with this. I am going to get to my point in a second. Please be patient. Jazakallah khair. And no matter, of course, which century. So it could be the 7th century, it could be the 9th century, it could be the 12th century, it could be the 21st century, the 30th century, the 50th century. So no matter what circumstance, scenario, time period, civilization, 99.99999, and I add another 9% of the time, a woman knows in the back of her mind, not front, I emphasize not front, there is a crucial difference which you will inshallah pick up on as I carry on with this, not front, in the back of her mind, that there is no way she can likely overpower him. Anyway, I urge you to hold your horses. As I said, some people will think that it's controversial. Some people will think, especially growing up in the West, they will think that's controversial, and they will have lots of issues with that. And some people will be like, okay, that's just common sense. He's just stating the obvious. This is pointless. Let's just move on. Move to another channel. Anyway, so let's just carry on. As I said, I wish you to be patient and persevering with me because this will be a bit laborious sometimes. Look, I'm not saying that she will want to, that a woman will want to take a man down. Because let's be fair, a woman doesn't go around thinking about taking guys down in a physical tussle in her average day. Unless, of course, she's maybe a police officer, or maybe a martial artist, or she's engaging in some kind of weird fantasy, or maybe she's even just bored. But anyway, that's point 1. And I need you to keep that in mind. That is the first point I've made. That is the first crucial point that you need to keep in mind as we progress. Or, so this is another caveat, even that she will do. Will do. Let's face it, we don't hear about women overpowering men all that often in the news either. So that's point 2. Now this bit is important. Please pay attention or you will miss this point. I am simply saying to you, this is all I'm saying to you, that she will know. I hope you get this, that she will know almost as a woman, and being a woman, with all her biological and physiological makeup, the various anatomical, muscular, hormonal differences between a man and a woman, that she will not be able to. Even if she wanted to. Even, I repeat, if she wanted to. Or indeed had a serious fantasy to do so. As a general rule, she knows in the back of her mind that it's an almost impossibility that she will be successful in her endeavor to take him down, the man down. So yes, a woman, of course, as I've said, might engage in the fantasy where she imagines herself succeeding in the act of taking a particular man down, but it will not be a serious, likely consideration or thought. It will be an impossible fantasy, say, and nothing more. Pure imagination, and that's where it will end. The story will end there. So the thought that she will succeed will not even cross her mind. It simply won't occur to her. Just like a fish will never believe it could ever live outside water. It might imagine it if it had the capacity to do so, but it will never believe it in its heart. A horse will never believe that it can fly. If it could, it might picture itself flying in a weird fantasy way, but it will not believe it in its heart. Why? Because such things are beyond its physical capacity, and therefore it would not be worth its while to consider on the whole. So let's carry on, shall we? Let's break it down a little further, if you will. So, in a normal, everyday scenario, when we are on autopilot, we only think about the possibilities that are deemed doable and likely. Okay. The point I'm going to make now, I need you to wrap your head around this point, because it is a sort of a psychobiological point and it's crucial that we grasp this point. So let's carry on, shall we? So we only think about the possibilities that are deemed doable and likely. In other words, we only generally, on the whole, think about what we can do and achieve for the bulk of the day. Not all the time, for the bulk of the day. Why is that? Because the average mind, not every mind, the average mind, generally, on the whole, if it's healthy and balanced, is super efficient. That is just how the brain works. And it takes the shortest possible route to its destination. So, when you're engaged in an activity, say at work, or you're coming home from work, your mind will be generally focused on the task at hand. Is the traffic light green or red? Do I need groceries before I get home? Gosh, that Derek at work is a real bossy boots. Has Zainab got home safely from her after-school club? Is there enough food in the fridge for her when she gets home? And so on and so forth. Now, let's flip that scenario around, shall we? So now, in this scenario, so this is scenario 2. Inshallah, you're staying with me on this. In this scenario, a guy sees an attractive girl in a parking lot, or a dark alley, or the middle of the desert, or the middle of the ocean, or a jungle. In whatever scenario you can possibly imagine, whatever country, or indeed century and period in time, it doesn't matter. Almost without exception, the man knows, instinctively, he knows that he has the physical, anatomical upper hand. I repeat, upper hand over the physically weaker woman / female. So if he wants to, if he wants to, he has the necessary prowess to take her down. Remember, I emphasized if he has the intention. So now all of a sudden, the scenario is not so benign and innocent. Now remember what I told you about the human brain taking the shortest possible route to its conclusions. Well, in the first scenario with a woman, the situation ends almost before it's begun, because the woman knows, even before the encounter with the man, that she has no chance of ever taking the man down and making it, if she has a fantasy, into a reality. She knows she has no chance. So most likely, the brain being efficient, she will not even contemplate the very thought. So yes, mentally, I give you, she might fantasize, like we all do now and then, if that, but that's where it'll likely end. No further action, no collateral. But, and I'm going to end it there now, inshallah. Now, I did say there's going to be 2 parts. Unfortunately, I've already reached 18 minutes on this, or almost 20 minutes, so I'm going to end it here and break this down into 3 parts. So now I'm going to begin my end it here, inshallah, and I'll see you on the second part. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.